Oil is currently quite cheap, which means that we can manufacture products very cheaply from oil. This is a problem due to the linear consumption model of plastics, which means that as a society we invested capital into extracting oil from the ground, then more capital into refining it into petrochemicals, and finally even more capital to process these into plastic products, of which the vast majority are used only once before being discarded in landfill or incinerated, estimated to translate into loss of economic value of around $100 billion per year. Finding novel ways of connecting this currently worthless plastic waste with useful chemical industry has the potential of making plastic waste one of the cheapest organic feedstock to promote the green, circular economy. We are developing an enzyme functionality to be able to take this landfill plastic and break it down into useful molecular components that can then be reused in a variety of different industries. Through the lens of recycling, we can crudely divide plastics into two categories: good and bad plastics. Good plastics are relatively easy to recycle due to natural cleavage points in between their monomers. With the right key, for example a chemical reagent or enzyme, we can open these locks and break the polymer down back into its monomers. On the other side we have bad plastics. These do not have natural cleavage points but are made up of long chains of carbon with different substituents, making breakdown significantly more difficult. During my PhD, we developed novel enzyme functionality to cleave carbon chains similar to those found in these bad plastics. During the IndieBio program, we began work with longer carbon chains more similar to the structures you would see in plastics. We quickly adapted Scindo 2 and optimized it for E. coli expression. So we will next be using directed evolution to evolve our enzyme targets to specifically target each of the top 4 produced plastics in the world: polyethylene, polypropylene, polystyrene and polyvinyl chloride. Together these account for more than 70% of global plastic production. To be truly impactful, novel processes cannot simply break down materials. Instead, there is a need to create metabolites that can be repurposed, either to remake the material or serve as other industries. We've identified aldehyde metabolites commonly used as building blocks in important chemical industries, including fragrance and flavor, plasticizer, and nylon industries. The ability to cleave plastic polymers into molecular components will make plastic waste one of the cheapest feedstocks available and one of the most impactful in terms of circularity and carbon recycling. We're initially focusing on working with an existing recycling infrastructure frameworks to upcycle low-value byproducts as novel feedstocks for industries currently dependent on petrochemicals. We're specifically targeting crude waxes that come out of the pyrolytic breakdown of plastics. We will convert these alkanes into fatty aldehydes that serve as core components in the $32 billion fragrance and flavor market. 95% of the chemicals used in commercial fragrances are derived from virgin petrochemicals. We will enable a new, cheaper feedstock to help promote a more circular fragrance and flavor industry. Plastic production is expected to quadruple by 2050. A large increase in plastic production will mean a large increase in waste production. We're developing an alternative solution to utilize plastic waste and turn it into useful materials.